kind of what is a fall plot? What do y'all consider a fall food plot? I know there's different types. You've got standing. I mean, the way I think of it, I think, you could have standing corn. You could have standing beans that went up. You could have your grain fields, like wheat fields. People have even seen ryegrass. It's really not great for the deer. But, there's I call them location plots, where some of them you might have a feeding plot only where you're not going to hunt it. You might have your kill plots where you want to put your stands. Then you might have some little micro plots up in the woods, or little small quarter-acre plots that you can't get equipment up into. And that's kind of what we were going to talk about today, things like that. So
to me, the biggest thing with the fall plot is, especially in Mississippi, I mean, we'll have, natural habitat stuff that they can eat on all the way up to Christmas most times. I mean, we don't get super cold in the early part of the season.
That's right.
But you're wanting something that's going to hold up to them late winter hunts, that's going to, survive the winter, survive the heavy frost, and, give good food and protein for them deer late year. To me, that's what I think. And I think we've done a good job of it. Like you were talking about the little micro plots. I mean, some of those plots we got ain't big as nothing, but it's somewhere for them to stop and eat. Yep. And, after the rut, them deer run down. They need something good to eat. And I think that's really what we try to do when it comes to our plots, is have something that's going to hold up to that point to where you can push them on through and they can survive and have good protein, have good food up until the spring and summer plots come back in. Right now, it's so much. It's a ton of stuff for them to eat right now.
Regardless, got to have protein.
Yeah,
I think
that's what it is.
Spring or fall or winter plots, you need all the protein you can get out.
So it's nourishment, improving.
That's right.
It goes back to improving that deer herd, having something for them to eat. They're not going to sit there and just wipe it out. They're going to pick on a plot, pick on acorns, go through the woods, whatever you got. That's the way deers are. But if you got that option there for them, it's going to make them healthier. It's going to make those fawns grow. It's going to get your does back. It's going to help those bucks put on weight after they rut and run it all off, because they quit feeding there for a while. They go into straight rut mode, and it's they need some
one track mind. Eating's not on that track.
When they come out of that, there is a lot of times, even in Mississippi, there's not anything for them to eat. Acorns have been gone. There's no more green. It's tough for them to find food in the winter. Yeah.
Whatever you do with your food plots, just like John Grucci said in one of the previous podcasts, a deer he's really got a kind of a complex diet. So, you want to make sure you got enough stuff out there that you're holding them on your property with what you have. You got to have that browse. You got to have that hard mass, different things for them to eat. And, it can come in many forms. I mean, we've hunted over just standing grain fields, corn or milo or, I say standing grain. I've hunted over standing beans right before they cut them before, but they didn't really fool with them too much after they dried up, but they would once the farmer came through there, and he spilled them or dropped. They come out of the pod
or missed them on some turn row, left them on the edges and stuff.
They may not eat them right then. It may be a little while before you had deer coming back to those, but they would come back, pick up those little sour beans that been laid on the ground and got wet.
I know down in my mother-in-law's place, the farmer plants 300 acres of beans. They rotate it out, but on the years they have beans, and he leaves some or misses some, the deer are always in there. And up north, I've hunted in Illinois where they paid some of the places we hunted on. They paid some of the farmers to leave some of it, and the deer absolutely flock to them. There's nothing else for them to eat up there.
And that's something a lot of people won't think about. If you've got a lease or you have a permission to hunt somewhere, if you get in contact with that farmer and just tell him, if you leave that back corner for me, just leave it standing, or something. Whatever it may be, if it's something you want to leave,
he might leave it.
Just leave it. You give him $100 or
whatever,
$200. He ain't gonna make that off of it, and
he might just want some deer meat.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's something too. Is we talk a lot about food plots and stuff, but talking to our friend Jay up in Indiana, they don't do food plots. He said, He said, I can't compete with a 1,000-acre cornfield or a 1,000-acre bean field up there. He's like, it's green everywhere. He said, so they do like just you say, mention with the farmer, work out something, leave a little bit standing, and hunt it.
They know that's where the deer are too.